Hi, my name's Alan and I am an IELTS trainer at ETEST, and today we will be discussing a topic we are all becoming more familiar with: social distancing. The COVID-19 pandemic as of today seems to be getting better in Vietnam, and the government is beginning to lift restrictions so people can go back to living their normal lives. While the situation has improved, it is still advisable that all of us continue to maintain safe actions while socializing. Let's take a look at some of the precautions we can take to protect ourselves while socially interacting with others. First, let's talk about a frontline defensive measure to protect ourselves: the face mask. Be sure to always wear one when talking to others. Also, be sure to only use masks that are of medical grade quality, since these, and only these, can effectively prevent the spread of the virus. Second, the mask cannot do the whole job. You should always keep a minimum distance of 2 meters between you and the next person. This may sound unnatural, but the vigilance of your safety should always come first. Third, your hands should be regularly sanitized after touching any common surfaces. And since the virus spreads when people touch their eyes and their mouth, keeping your hands clean is a vital necessity. Last but not least, having general awareness should be one of the most important aspects to keep in mind. You should never underestimate this pandemic or let your guard down. This is not to say you should become overly paranoid, but you and your family's health should always be of primary concern. Now, why don't we predict what kinds of questions we will face in IELTS after the experiences of COVID-19? Here are some types of questions that may be asked. What could happen to people psychologically if they stay isolated at home for too long? How do extroverted people cope with isolation? What can people do to remain optimistic during this crisis? And can people maintain their physical health at home? Let's explore some possible answers for these questions. What could happen to people psychologically if they stay isolated at home for too long?
There are problems individuals may face mentally when they have to spend an extensive amount of time at home. Some may suffer from anxiety and boredom. Indeed, some of us are social creatures, and therefore it would be a torture if we are not allowed to go outside and socialize. It would feel like being locked inside a solitary.
How do extroverted people cope with isolation?
To deal with lockdown more effectively, they can use social media to contact people, keep reading news on platforms like Facebook or others, chat or video calls with friends and distant family, or do home activities like yoga or cooking and so on.
What can people do to remain optimistic during this crisis?
I believe that in order to keep a healthy mind, people have to understand that there will always be crises like this in the world. Throughout history, mankind has faced a lot of disaster, bloodshed, war, and other things. So we have to learn to stay strong, and they can take this time to do sport or favorite things that can keep their minds busy.
Can people maintain their physical health while staying at home?
Of course, there are many ways to keep fit while staying stationary. Actually, back in the days, there had been clips that guide people to maintain physical health if they were too busy going to the gym. Even now, you can browse YouTube to search for videos showing how to do exercise at home and try following those.
This should wrap up today's video. I hope that you have gleaned some helpful tips to keep you and your family safe during these times. See you in the next video, and until then, stay tuned and stay safe.